We're going live, so blue button to keep going the conversation. Okay. Um, so we're gonna talk about generation gap, and I'm gonna give you some tips about developing your listening skills, and I'm going to explain as well how TNT works. I know, I know most of you are already like you already know how it works, but Talk and Talk, it's not an English class. This is a place to develop your communication skills, and it's totally different. One thing is to study English. Something completely the opposite is to speak the language because it requires you more than the language. It requires you all your emotional intelligence, all your energy, and sometimes your soul, depending on the situation. So when it comes to communication, human beings need that. It doesn't matter if it's English, Portuguese, or Spanish, or whatever the language. And being in touch with these native speakers, listening to them, it helps you to understand how they speak, how they behave, which words they use, and then you get to know more vocabulary. And you don't need to speak to a native person or to someone who is native. You don't. Okay, you can speak to other people. All right, and you have this place for free to do that, or you can purchase one of the pro plans, the monthly or the annual plan, and you can get to have access to materials, to all the classes, to all the conversations, to mentoring sessions, and also the happy hour. Happy hour is back, okay? And happy hour, it's the last Friday of the month. It's starting at 10 p.m. Brazilian time. So it took me a while to speak all of that. I'm sorry. And please be kind to each other. Do not correct people. We are not here for that. If you want to be corrected, if you want support, we have intermediate and beginner classes. So here are the questions. Present yourself. Some people are going to the other room. Please present yourself first. And after you present yourself, and it's really important to do that, even though it's I don't know how many times you have already done it, do it again. And then choose a leader. By the way, Luana Kathleen, she's gonna be leading the other room. Okay, Lu? Sounds good? Right? Because I'm helping her, supporting her to be a host next month. All right? So let's do it and have fun. Enjoy. See ya. And for you, Epaminondas, or my dear friend Nondas, Katiana and Thais, we're going to talk about generation gap. And to start with, first, if you can open your camera, that I would much appreciate that, but no problem if you can't. Thank you so much, Katiana. Can you present yourself?
Hi, teacher. I think it's the first time I have class with you. I'm Katiana. I live in Vitória, Espírito Santo. And I have 38 years old. And I'm an engineer. I work with projects and at an oil and gas company at Petrobras. And I have a daughter, and I'm married.
Very good. Good to know you better. Nice to meet you. And it's indeed the first time. Thanks for having
Nice
you
to meet you
here.
too.
What about you, Thais? Can you present yourself?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry, I can't open my camera today because I'm using a Robbie. So I think it's not the best situation.
Yeah, it's not appropriate for the meeting, so no problem.
Yeah. So, guys, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I am Thais. I am 24 years old. I study international relations. I work in level up games in market intelligence area. Well, I have been studying English for a long time, I think more than 9 or 10 years maybe. And it's a journey. I keep learning every day, and I love to be here with you, talking and learning and connecting with you. Thank you.
Very good. And every time I hear people that I know already, I know a little bit more about all of you. So thank you so much for your presentation, Thais. And Nondas.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nondas. My short name. I'm from Brasilia. I am 27 years old. I work as a personal training. I'm an expert in physiology. I have a dog called Bitu. I love to play video games and to dance too. And I'm missing to dance. I'm trying to drink more water. Yeah, that's all. That's all for today.
Are you exercising yourself, doing activities, working out?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes. And you?
I went back to swimming yesterday, so yeah, I'm trying, giving it a try. So let's talk about this topic. In I'm gonna just open the meeting asking you, have you ever felt a generation gap with your friends? And how does it feel when you have this generation gap? Does it necessarily belong to the age, or it's something about, I don't know, about the experience the person have? And I'm gonna start with Thais.
Yeah, I felt this, and it's strange because I think that I have more connection with older people. I don't know why, but the majority of my friends are older, and I think that I can have more connection with them because I don't know, people with my age or younger than me. Normally, it's of course it's not a general, it's not a rule, but it's a tendency that people are very connected with cell phone. And while you are talking with this kind of people of my age or younger, they are using the cell phone while they are talking with you. And I really don't like that. I like connection when I am talking with someone. And I really like to hear people. I prefer to hear more than talk. And older people normally have a lot of things to pass to us. So I like to talk with older people.
Very good. And you, Katiana, have you ever felt this generation gap with your friends or other people?
I agree with Thais. I think the older people it's have more things for teaching us, and I like stay with other people because I think I learn a lot of with these people, and I think the generation this younger generation don't 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 stay many time with the phone and don't speak looking at my eyes. And I think when I speak with the other people,
Like,
probably the people stay, yes, the people stay with you and speaking with you, thinking about something. And it's probably if you listen, you learn about something. I agree with Thais.
yes, and I couldn't agree more with you girls, because when we talk to each other, and we really talk when we are present at the moment, we learn a lot. So that's what I love most doing, learning. That's why I'm alive. That's why I was born to learn, like my opinion. Um, no, this, please.
Yeah, in my case, yes. Actually, I think everybody feel this, and normally I was thinking about myself, and normally my friends has the same age than me, but some friends is it's younger than me, and it's very usual. I was thinking here, but I really love to learn too, and I think other people can teach us more because of the background experience and things like that. But yes, it's very usual to have this gap, and about goals, about vision, about, so yeah, I've I already feel this.
Yeah. I sometimes I feel the generation gap with my parents, you know. Um, my grandparents as well, but when it comes to share things and to exchange ideas, especially my dad, it's sometimes complicated because we are trying to do the same thing. We are reaching out the same idea, the same purpose, the same goal, but we are using different words. We are using a different context, scenario, experience, and by the end of the day, I just get it that, oh, we are on the same page, but we think we are not, but we are, you know. Yeah. Do you guys and girls have something about your parents like this generation gap and some, do you lose, there's like a miscommunication between your parents or your grandparents or someone who is older than you that lives at the same place as you? Know this.
Yeah, of course. I think that our generation broke some barriers, and special because the technology and the internet, and it's very usual to have difference with my parents, for example, and the kind of to think, and it's very different, and because of the reference. So yeah, normally I feel you, because I feel the same, in special with my dad, and even with my friends in another group, because we live in a bubble. So it's very interesting to think about that, because there's a gap too in different bubbles. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. And Thais, she replied back with like thumbs up about the question.
Yeah. I think that I talked the good point on my first answer, but not the bad point. That is this. I like to have this connection with old people, but at the same time, in the other hand, I feel that they don't understand a lot of things that we say. Like, I really like to talk, sorry by my dogs. I really like to talk using memes, do you know? And reference and funny things like that. And normally I can use this with my parents. And more than that, going deeper, I feel that I can talk about a lot of things with them. Sometimes, like, I need to to use, it's not a mask, not like that, but it's like you use another part of you, to deal with. And this is a little exhausting sometimes, because with your friends you can be more free, you can talk about things that you are not be judged. I can remember a lot of times that i I just start to think to talk about something that I saw on TV, but I stop it because I know that will turn like a discussion and I will be misunderstood, like abortion or like racism or like politics, these kind of things. And I know that they are not bad person, of course, but they have a different mind. They grow up, I don't know how to say, in a different generation too. So it's hard to judge to, it's very hard, you know, our part, them part, the part of them.
Yeah, I totally get it. Totally get it. Yeah. Anyway, Katiana, about this gap between your parents or um your family in general, that people who are older than you, do you feel, how does it feel for you, this generation gap? There is a gap, or no, it's okay for you?
I think uh, I think it's depend, teacher, because for example, in my work, I have the technology. It's stay with me, stay with you, but I see many times the older employers, for example, don't follow this technology and put the doors and many bridges with the technology. It's, for example, for me, it's a very difficult because, for example, I dislike Excel and I love dashboards, Power BI, and new technology in my job. And sometimes I have difficult for for um, for input this technology in my job, for example, because the older employers don't like this. It's a big monster, for example, for these employers. And but for the other hand, when you speak about these older employers, you learning a lot of, because he have many histories,
Experience.
experience and practice in the job. And I think I think the way is the balance is the way, because when I have a technology, it's possible I listen and introduce
to to
the
translate.
technology, the translate the technology for this kind of person. I think
Exactly.
the balance is the it's the
The key.
how,
It's the
yes,
solution.
is the key, teacher.
Yeah, you nailed it. So it's I totally agree. I think that's we need to balance everything, not just that, but other areas in our lives, right? Yeah. There's a long way to reach out people to understand that it's not one or another. It's like, let's balance everything, and yeah.
Yes.
And you know this.
Yeah, for me the same. And this balance that you said, it's very important, because about the life, as you said, about the life. It's not about the the things that we do, but about the life in general. And it's important to have a balance. And yeah, that's all.
Very good. Very good. I'm gonna skip question number two because I like to do things differently. I do not I do not like to follow like the script. So I change everything. Like most people, they don't like it, but it happens. It's really hard to tell. My mom likes to say, "Oh, it's really hard to follow you, your ideas, what you're doing, what you're up to." So I'm sorry about that. But question number three. Let's go for question number three. I'm gonna start with Katina now, and I'm gonna call you Kati. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Kati, what do you think are some advantages or disadvantages of each generation? And you said about technology and about experience, but what else can you bring more to us? The advantage and disadvantage.
I I I think I think the use of the technology for the older people, older older people, it's a disadvantage because don't have practical with this. For example, if I do the new cell phone for my mother, it's a big problem because don't it's possible don't
Yeah.
call me because it's very difficult. But for the other hand, for example, with a teenager or the younger generation, this generation don't read, don't have patience for the things, for do the things. And I think uh, it's very distance between this generation, the teenagers in 10 years stay in the, for example, in their company, and me, and for example the others, it's very how do you say, discrepant,
Uh,
it's
uh,
distance
yes,
between
it's different. It's far away from each other.
Yes, it's very far away. And I think this difference in the companies, for example, it's a big problem because this the teenager, the older, the the this
Gap.
different.
You
Yes,
can say gap. Gap.
it's gap. It's a big problem because it's very different. I think it's more difficult, for example, for the older people because
To
the
to adapt.
yes, because the work change every day, and this kind of person don't follow these modernities and new
And it's
technologies.
hard. And it's hard to follow, to keep it up with new things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Well said. And you know this. Which disadvantage or advantage?
It's a tough question. I was thinking here, and I really believe that each generation has its own advantage and disadvantage. For example, the technology. The technology is very good. We are here and talk in English and learning, but at the same time, we are losing ourselves. And as Kachi said before, normally we don't talk with another people around us, and we are here, but it's not closer than your mom, your father, and the people around you. It's advantage, but at the same time, the the way that you use this technology and can be a disadvantage. So it's very interesting to think about that. And I'm very worried because I'm looking for anxious, depressed, and things like that increasing, and in special because of this. So maybe it's disadvantage about our generation, and everything is in a hurry. So it's hard. But in the other hand, for example, the vaccines, it's faster. So, and it's hard. Yeah, each generation has its own advantage and disadvantage. And in special, our generation, the technology is the point for me, and advantage and disadvantage at the same time.
Yeah, it's yeah. Let's listen to Thais as well, and then I sum up everything. Any Thais?
Yeah, I think that the point here, like you said, guys, in general, is technology. And I think that at the same time that we have access to a lot of things, we have Google, where we can access a lot of information. This amount of information is good and bad for our brain because we have a lot of access to this information, and we feel lost in the middle of everything. So I don't know what to say more. For me is that we can learn everything that we want if we want, but at the same time we feel lost in the middle of this
Yeah,
possibilities.
exactly. Nondas wanna reply back?
No, I was thinking that's the problem, to have many different opportunities, and then you're not able to choose one, and thinking about, oh, maybe I'm wrong. If I, it, it's very hard to our generation. It's hard. It's hard.
Kachi, wanna say something?
I agree with Nondas because I have I have many opportunities and I have many different choices. And for example, you need for me it's difficult because you it in your day you need stay focused in your goals and your routine, and it's difficult because many things do in the same time, and in the many different kinds of applicatives,
Uh,
Instagram,
app,
apps,
app.
apps, apps, and Instagram and Facebook. For example, in my job, I need stay focused in the schedule and in finish my project. And for example, for me, my cell phone stay how do you say silencioso in
In
the
silence, in silence.
in, in silence during the day. And my friend says, you don't, I call for you and I don't. Yes, it's because I'm working. And for me it's very difficult because if I don't put my cell phone in the silence, and I distracted with this, and probably I wrong something, and I
Make
think it
mistakes.
yes make mistakes, and I think it's very difficult because you have a phone, a cell phone, a tablet, a television, and it's many things in the same time.
Yeah, it's what we call burnout, right? So lots of
Yes.
information. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna open up my heart a little bit. Before the meeting, and I was late 5 minutes. I don't like to start late, but a lot of things were happening at the same time, and I was freaking out a bit, and I was like almost giving away or quitting the meeting. I was almost quitting. I was like, I have no emotional to bring up this meeting today at this time. But the good thing about TNT and this talks is they are good because I don't know what happens, and I don't know how to explain. It changes your mood, right? It changes totally. Yeah. So I'm a different person now. Yeah. So and let's get back to. I'm going to question number 7, because it's connected to what we were talking before. That is, why do new generations frequently blame the last generation for many problems they are facing? And it's like, when I think it happens a lot in 2 places: homes and work environment, right? So, Thais, what do you think new generations they blame they talk bad things about older generations?
Because it's easier to blame someone else, you know. It's
Love
hard
it.
to face the problems. It's hard to say that you have a responsibility for things that you live. Oh, but at the same time, of course, I think that everything it's a way, you know, it's connected. The past, of course, is connected with the present and the future. Um, we are not living dark, you know, that everything is very a mess. But I think that it's connected, but we need to know our responsibility and what we can do in our present to change our reality, I think.
Oh my God. Awesome. Notice, and you, what do you think about that?
I am the same page of Thais, and because of there's a connection. The life is a flux, it's a flow. So it's normal to think about our past and the generation, but at the same time, it's about responsibility, and that's the point. Because I cannot change my past and the things that already happened, but if it's happened now, it's about me, it's about myself, it's about my life and my choice. And I need to do something to change my life and to change the things that I am not agree. So in my point of view, I agree with Thais. It's easier to blame another generation, but in it's logical, makes sense because there is a flow. But at the same time, if it's happened, it's my responsibility, and that's my life. I need to do something now, right now, to change what I'm not agree. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. And you, Kachi, what do you there's a word. There's a word that I do not use too much, but is to it's accountability. It's responsibility. So there's accountability about your things or about stuff. So accountability is another word to add to your vocabulary instead of responsibility. You know. So Kachi, what do you think? Why do people or do new generation, young youth people blame um, the elderly?
I think it's because it's the easier, but I think if I don't agree with something, I think do something for change this perspective or change this idea. And if I blame the older generation or old thoughts, I don't change this thing. I think the form for change the idea, or I think it's how do you say, it starts with me.
Yeah,
And blame me with other people or older people don't change this idea or the problem.
do not
For
solve the problem.
no, for example, now I the world have an environment problem. The many countries don't have the forests, don't have the clean water, or and the older generations don't talk and don't speaking about this. And for me it's very easier uh, putting the the problem in the neck of other people. But what I do now for changing this idea,
Yeah,
And this starts in my home, with my daughter, with my husband, with my ideas in my home. For example, recycle the trash in my house. And I think if I change everything, I need to start with me. Don't blame the older generations, for example, because I think my daughter's generation put the problem in my generation, but now I resolve the problem in this moment. I need to stay in this moment with the technology, in this moment with the possibilities in this moment.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, and I truly believe it starts from the inside out, and it starts with everything, not just it starts from the food we eat, the things we buy, the companies we support. And I'm always telling people, are you going to support a foreign company, a company from another country, or are you going to support Talk and Talk, that it's a Brazilian company that is running in Brazil and is trying to, is trying to thrive and to survive and to grow and everything. So every step we take, there's a wave coming up, right? So it's like the butterfly effect, and I truly believe about the consequences of the things we do, the things we think, and the things we eat, the things we drink as well. So everything. Very good. And I guess, if I'm not mistaken, we've been to a different direction in our conversation here in the main room. So I want to check on Lou. Lou, can you summarize the meeting in your room? What people said, what did you all talk about? And just summarize what happened in your meeting.
Was amazing the conversation. We talk a lot about the gender. It's a subject so difficult for me for explain, but we can talk, and we talk about the advantages and disadvantages. So that are the persons on the breakout room that think the advantages don't are the advantages on the generations, the older or the new generations.
It's not an advantage.
Yes, some difference and good and bad things. That's it.
Very good, very good. Lucas Villar, welcome aboard. I don't remember if I have talked to you already, but if I haven't, nice to meet you. But I think it's not your first time, right? Or is it your first time?
It's my first time today, and at this time, my first time was yesterday, the 9 p.m. meeting.
Nice.
So well, nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you. My pleasure. So, what do you think about the topic, about the conversation itself? Do you think it's important to talk about things like that, or it's okay? It's a good question. They are good questions, but it's not too important. What do you think?
Yeah, it's important. It was difficult for me because, as I said in my breakout room, I don't have friends older than me. Like all my friends are the same age as me, so it's difficult to see the difference between the generations when we don't have different kinds of age in the middle of our friends. But of course, I see a lot of difference just in like the society in general.
Very nice. Thais, how difficult was it for you to discuss in the main room, and how could you share or how could you summarize what we talked in the main room?
It wasn't so difficult. I think that this kind of subject that we need to expose our opinion or our point of view, it's easier for me when, for example, I need to compare the situation that I need to present something, in my job, I pass for this kind of situation. It's harder for me present something like datas and informations, but when I am talking about my opinion and what I think, it's easier. So it's not so difficult. And to summarize the conversation, I think that everybody agreed that we can learn a lot of things with old people, but at the same time, we feel gaps with them too, and gaps of connection. And our generation have good parts, good things like technology, and bad parts like a lot of information that it's very hard to deal with this amount of information.
Very nice. So I guess it was different, right, Clayton, from the room you were?
I think it's a subject that I never had to think like in this in this deep thinking, and I really think that has a lot of things we can learn if another generation, and it's very strange. You think what is important to which one generation, like what is the values that you think is important. Like if you see our generation, we can't stay like a lot of time without our phone, without it's connected, seeing the Instagram, the email. And if you see like to other generation, this is not important. Today doesn't matter what is happening with the life of the another people.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, Lino, Gabriel, please go ahead. What about the recommendation?
Okay, about the subject, I recommend that you guys watch this movie, The Internship. In Portuguese, it's Os Estagiários. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it, but it's really good. The movie shows us the communication between the old generation and the new generation at a company, and how they lead with problems at the company. It's really good.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I watch it, and it's a really good movie. It's a really good one. So people, we are running out of time, and I have some things to talk. Just before we finish, I would appreciate if you just keep it up like 2 minutes more. We have a survey. This survey, it helps us to understand how was really the topic, how was the meeting itself, just this meeting, okay? And here is the link. If you can't open it, all right, no problem. We are still, this is something new we are bringing up. The idea is to make it more easier for you to answer. So if you could spend like a minute or more to do that. And for those who don't know yet, we have the Pro Plan where you can prepare yourself. You can have access to the questions of all the meetings, and you can study every day if you want to. And more than that, you're gonna help more people to study. You're gonna help us to bring more availability. And being a pro student, you also have access to the happy hour, mentoring sessions, and PDF material, okay? Yeah, the idea of TNT is also that to exchange, to talk to each other. And the happy hour, it's something like that. So the happy hour, we have like a time to talk to each other and to really to connect, really to do that networking that most people talk about. Okay. Do you have any questions before I end or I finish? No questions? Okay. Please follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, and every social media. It's going to help a lot. Thank you so much for everybody. Nondas, Kachi, Thais, Clayton, Lucas, Gabriel, and Lou. See you and have a good night. Bye-bye, everybody.
See you. Thank you.
See you,
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Kachi.
Bye-bye.
Bye,